Hi. So a lot of people have trouble because when they get into a situation with their partner where there's conflict or a disagreement, they get so emotional that their emotions take them over, and they end up saying and doing things that they really regret, or that don't help the situation, or that really hurt their relationship. So, what if you want to understand what's going on? Think about when you were younger, and when you were a little kid, perhaps there was a toy that you really wanted, or a concert that you wanted to go to, or a party that you really wanted to go to that you didn't, a situation where you didn't get what you wanted, and you were crying, and it just felt like the end of the world. But now you look back on it and you kind of laugh, and you were like, oh, wow, that wasn't a big deal at all. So, but at the time, it felt so real. It felt so urgent. And really, that's the same, that applies to your emotions today. No matter how urgent it feels, there's really no reality to it. Now, there may be some reality to you not getting what you need, whether it's something very superficial that's just frustrating you, or maybe on a deeper level, you're not getting the love and the relationship that you want, or the safety that you need. But as far as the emotion that you're experiencing, that is exactly the same as far as how it's affecting your life as it was when you were younger. So the way we as human beings are structured is that we have what are called, according to developmental psychology theory, we have life tasks that at every stage, at different stages of life, we have to master these different tasks. When you're, 1 year old, you have to 1 year old, you have to learn how to not poop your diapers. Or as you get a little older, you have to learn how not to just interrupt people when they're talking, or butt to the front of the line, or just, take something because you want it. You have to learn how to eat in a gentlemanly way. I actually just learned that very recently myself. So these are life tasks, and the fact is that as you master these tasks, you feel good about yourself. Something inside of you is aware that these are the lines along which you're supposed to be developing. And when you don't develop these skills, then you don't like yourself. You don't feel good about yourself. And one of the life skills that we are supposed to learn is how to be in a mature, intimate relationship. And, we can develop these skills anywhere along our life's timeline. You can learn some things much later in life or much earlier in life. But as a being, we are structured to need to acquire these skills. So really, when you feel like you've been taken over emotionally, emotional self-regulation is the primary skill that we need to learn. Everything I'm talking about is basic self-regulation. I have to poop, but I'm not going to. I want to butt to the front of the line, but I'm not going to. And in a situation where you're fighting with your partner, I want to be right. That's basically what's going on. I want to be right. I want you to see me as right. I don't want to be contradicted. I want what I want. What I want is right. And this can be something very shallow or something very deep. And but the need to be right is the same, okay? You may have every reason to, you may deserve, it may be right that you get what you want. Or it may just be that this is something very superficial, that you're just very frustrated that you're not getting. But none of that matters when you're trying to communicate with your partner, because the ultimate thing you need from a relationship is safety. And in a relationship, safety means acceptance and connection and unconditional love. And then once you have that established, then you can sort of figure out how you are going to live with each other and enjoy each other and care for each other. But it's not about you being right. So in any conflict situation, both of you want to be right. And so the way that you can feel good about yourself is if you have a mature approach where you understand that not being right there's nothing urgent about it. If you are ultimately right, that will come up as you discuss it. But what happens when you're yelling? Yelling is an ego defense posture. It's like you create this ego structure because it's so much easier to be angry than it is to feel the pain. What's the pain? Is the pain that you're not getting what you want? Or is the pain that you don't feel capable of getting what you want, and that makes you frustrated with yourself, like you feel you're not worthy, or you feel like you don't have the life skills to get what you want? Is the pain that you're not really loved in the relationship, that your partner is rejecting you? Maybe that's it. Or are you misinterpreting what's going on? It could be any of these things, but you can't explore the truth until you penetrate the veil of egoic emotions that you've created around yourself. Basically, you've created this fighter that's going to protect you from feeling pain. So when you yell, it's like this fighter that's coming out, or when you're stubborn, or when you put up a wall between you and your partner, it's protecting you from the pain of possibly what? Being wrong? Well, maybe that hurts your ego. Not actually getting the love that you need in a relationship. Well, that's a much deeper thing, but it can be very hard to face for a variety of reasons. I mean, you could have gotten very, very deep into a place where you have to reassess your life, and certainly that makes you feel unsafe and afraid. So the first step in breaking through these automatic emotions that are preventing you from taking effective action, that are impelling you, overtaking you to take actions that have consequences instead of results, is to release your need to be right and not do anything, and just surrender your need to be right and feel the pain of that. Feel the discomfort. This is hard to take on because you're afraid that this is what it's always going to be like. But actually, once you do this once, and then you do it again, it becomes easier and easier until the things that have triggered you no longer trigger you. Until you can be in the same situation that a few weeks ago would have made you lose your mind. And then but now if you can build these emotional muscles, you have this feeling of power. You have true authority over your own psychophysical, emotional responses. And then you feel good about yourself, and you can stand strong in your truth because you have mastered your life task. So this loyal soldier, the fighter, has served you well for a long time. But now it's time for you to dismiss, to say to this loyal fighter, thank you for your service, but I don't need you anymore. And now I'm ready to step into my truth in a powerful way, where I experience my power to create the life and the relationship that I want.